In 1291, on a desolate island in the Mediterranean, one of the most brilliant mystics in Jewish history wrote his final work. His name was Abraham Abulafia. After that, he vanished. But 4 years later, in 1295, something extraordinary happened. In the Spanish city of Ávila, 2 prophets appeared. One was named Abraham. On the 29th of Tammuz, before a synagogue packed with Jews dressed in white burial garments, crosses mysteriously appeared on their clothing. Many Jews converted to Christianity that day, voluntarily. What if the prophet named Abraham was Abraham Abulafia? What if the man who disappeared in 1291 didn't die, but instead embraced Jesus and went incognito? Abraham Abulafia was born in Zaragoza, Spain, in 1240. From his earliest years, he was a prodigy, mastering the Hebrew Bible, Talmud, and the philosophical works of Maimonides.
Abulafia was unique. Most Kabbalists of his time focused on the 10 Sephirot, the divine emanations. But Abulafia created something entirely different, prophetic Kabbalah. He believed you could achieve direct mystical union with God through meditation on Hebrew letters and divine names.
But Abulafia had a secret, a sacred number that defined his entire system. The name Abraham in Hebrew, Aleph, Bet, Resh, He, Mem, equals 248. And Abulafia used this number as his mystical signature. He called himself Raziel, 248. He called himself Zechariah, 248. He even misspelled names to make them equal, 248. At age 20, after his father's death, Abulafia began a life of ceaseless wandering. Israel, Greece, Italy, back to Spain, where he taught in Castile, the very region where our story will return. In 1280, driven by a mystical vision, he did the unthinkable. He went to Rome to convert Pope Nicholas III to Judaism.
Imagine the audacity. A Jewish mystic walking into the heart of Christendom, convinced he could convert the Pope. The Pope ordered him burned at the stake. But the night before Abulafia arrived, the Pope died suddenly of a stroke.
Abulafia was imprisoned for 4 weeks, then released. He fled to Sicily, where for a decade he proclaimed himself a prophet and Messiah. The Jewish establishment, led by Rabbi Solomon ben Adret, condemned him. Abulafia was excommunicated, his Kabbalah banned from Spanish schools. By 1285, isolated and persecuted, he retreated to Camino, a speck of rock in the Mediterranean with no inhabitants. There, under distressing conditions, he wrote his most important works. And in 1291, he completed his final book, Imre Shefer, Words of Beauty. After that, nothing. Every trace of him, lost. Four years later, 1295, the Spanish city of Ávila. 2 men appeared claiming to be prophets. One was named Abraham, the other, Nisim ben Abraham, literally, Nisim, son of Abraham.
These weren't random wandering preachers. They claimed to have been endowed by an angel with prophetic powers. Nisim even wrote a mystical work called The Wonder of Wisdom, the kind of title Abulafia's disciples would use.
The prophets made a bold prediction. On the 29th of Tammuz, the last day of the 4th month, the Messiah would come. The Jewish community assembled in the synagogue, dressed in the white burial garments worn on Yom Kippur. They waited, and then crosses appeared on their clothing.
Whether this was a genuine mystical phenomenon, mass hysteria, or something staged, we don't know. But the effect was immediate and profound.
Many Jews converted to Christianity, not forced, not coerced, voluntarily. They interpreted the cross as a messianic sign pointing to Jesus. But here's where it gets interesting. We know that Abraham Abulafia had taught in Castile decades earlier. His most important disciple was Joseph Gicatilla from Medina Kili. And historical records tell us that two of Abulafia's disciples later claimed to be prophets. One was Joseph Gicatilla. The other was named Samuel, also from Medina Kili. This Samuel foretold in mystic language at Ailen in Segovia the advent of the Messiah.
Medinaceli, Ailen, Segovia, Ávila. These are all in Castile, within traveling distance of each other. This was Abulafia's old teaching territory.
And then there's the name, Abraham. The gematria value 248, Abulafia's sacred signature number, the name he used for his prophetic writings. Could one of these prophets have been Abulafia himself? Consider the evidence. Abulafia disappears in 1291. 4 years later, a prophet named Abraham appears in Abulafia's old territory, using Abulafian methods, mystical visions, letter mysticism, messianic prophecies.
And remember, Abulafia was the first Kabbalist to introduce Trinitarian concepts into Jewish mysticism. He was trying to build bridges between Judaism and Christianity, a cross appearing as a messianic sign. That fits his theology perfectly.
In 1295, in the city of Burgos, a young Jewish physician named Abner was treating patients. Some of them were traumatized Jews from Ávila, victims of the failed messianic movement. Abner of Burgos had graduated as a physician at age 25. He was brilliant, a master of philosophy, astronomy, and Jewish texts. But treating those traumatized Jews changed everything.
Abner later wrote that his religious doubts began in 1295 when he treated people involved in the Ávila incident. He started having dreams where crosses appeared on his garments. Sound familiar?
For 25 years, Abner struggled. Finally, around 1320, he converted to Christianity, taking the name Alfonso of Valladolid. And then he became one of the most prolific anti-Jewish writers in medieval history. He wrote Moreh Tzedek, Teacher of Righteousness, one of the longest polemics against Judaism ever written. He wrote La Concordia de las Leyes, The Harmony of the Laws, arguing that Moses and the Gospels were in perfect agreement.
What's fascinating is the parallel with Abulafia. Both were brilliant writers. Both explored the intersection of Jewish mysticism and Christian theology. Both believed in bridging the two faiths.
Abulafia, born 1240, prolific literary output from 1271-1291, disappears 1291. Abner, born 1270, crisis begins 1295, converts 1320, prolific literary output until his death in 1347. It's almost as if when one voice fell silent, another took up the call. But who were those two prophets in Ávila? Were they Abulafia's disciples Samuel and Gicatilla? Or was one of them the master himself? The truth may be hidden in manuscripts yet unread, in archives yet unexplored. Did Abraham Abulafia die on that lonely island in Malta? Or did he return to Spain one final time, using his sacred name, Abraham, 248, to deliver one last prophetic message?
Whether Abulafia converted to Christianity or not, what's clear is this: his influence didn't end in 1291. His mystical methods, his prophetic Kabbalah, his attempt to bridge Judaism and Christianity, all of this continued. Someone carried on his work.
Hugh Schonfield, the scholar who pioneered the study of Jewish Christianity, completely missed this connection. Even he didn't see the thread linking Abulafia to the 1295 conversions to Abner of Burgos. This is an untold chapter in the history of Jewish-Christian relations, a story of mysticism, conversion, and voluntary faith that challenges everything we thought we knew about medieval Spain. The prophet who vanished may never have truly disappeared.